As footage continues releasing and astute internet sleuths continue analyzing anomalies and inconsistencies, it's becoming increasingly clear that the so-called final experiment's 24-hour Antarctic sun was just another faked event recorded on a film set. Unbeknownst to most, for the past few years, portable, panoramic, 360-degree LED studio setups now exist and are being used for Hollywood productions like The Mandalorian and many others. Amazon Volume, or Amazon Studio 15, for example, are state-of-the-art studios which take the standard of green or blue screen technology and completely blow it out of the water. With new 360-degree panoramic LED screen studios, the entire background and ceiling or sky are digitally created in Unreal Engine, then projected live in up to 16K resolution, so the actors on set can see, react, and interact with everything in real time. Amazon sets comprise 3,000 seamlessly connected LED panels, 80 feet in diameter and nearly 3 stories tall, enclosing 130,700 cubic feet of interactive space. Keeping all this in mind, let's review some footage from the final experiment. To begin with, watch the supposed sun circling around during their 24-hour time-lapse video, and pay close attention to its shape. Notice how the sun changes from circular to being smooshed down horizontally, back to perfectly circular, then smooshed across vertically, and then back again. This is not how the sun usually looks or behaves in person, or in genuine footage of the phenomenon from the Arctic. Now, pay attention to the changes in length and direction of McToon's shadow as he paces around the base camp. In the space of walking only a matter of feet, his shadow somehow completely changes direction and triples in length. Watch as his shadow stretches, contracts, and sharply changes angles within the space of just a few paces. This is not at all normal behavior of shadows being cast by sunlight, or of a man walking only a few steps. The following is a simple demonstration of how light and shadows work depending on the distance of the light source. In the first example, the light source is held close to the action figure as he moves along the table, and we see quite pronounced changes in the length and direction of his shadow. In the second example, the light source is held farther away from the action figure as he moves along the table, and we see much less change in the shadow length and direction. In reality, the sun is much farther away in scale than this demonstration allows for as well, so even the amount of change seen here is being generous. A man walking such a short distance outside should never have a shadow that changes direction 90 degrees and triples in length. Now let's watch as McToon and Austin Whitsitt respond to commenters asking them to show their breath in the Antarctic. As they blow hot air out their mouths in freezing temperatures, there should be a cloudy mist that forms in front of their faces as the water vapor in their breath condenses. Instead, however, every time they blow, not a trace of fog appears. In Whitsitt's live stream, he claimed this was because the air was allegedly too dry there. Someone then asks him to pick up some snow, which he initially refuses to do because his hands would be too cold. So he turns his camera off, walks into the shed to grab some gloves, then comes back in front of the camera and exhales 1.5 breaths, which now mysteriously do show vapor appearing in front of his face, only to abruptly stop again. He says to the camera, "There's a little breath. What's up now?" As if somehow proving the skeptics wrong, and claiming that he took a sip of water in the shed, which was supposed to account for. For comparative purposes, here is what from a different angle, however, caught Whitsitt while exiting the shed, doing what appears to be hitting a vape pen just before turning his camera back on.
from the difference in temperature
For comparative
between
purposes,
the hot air in your
here is what
lungs
someone's
and
breath
the cold
looks
air
like
outside.
during winter
And so
in
after
Maine,
exhaling the
USA.
vape, hit it into the camera.
Every time you exhale,
some of the
there is
snow
a
that was all
visibly
around him for
noticeable
some reason.
cloudy fog that
Austin
condenses
walked
from the
several feet
difference
away
in
and
temperature between the hot
picks up
air
a
in
bit
your
of snow
lungs
from over
and
there.
the cold air
There,
outside.
then walks it back to the camera.
So
and
after exhaling
lets
his
it fall
vape
to
hit
the
into the
ground.
camera, rather than
Snow is
picking up some
everywhere,
of the snow that was
all
all around him, for
why
some
did he have
reason,
to walk way
Austin
over there to
walks
get to
several
some?
feet away and picks up a bit
Anytime
of snow
close-up
from
footage
over
of
there,
their feet was shown,
then
their
walks it back
footprints
to the
always
camera
failed to make
and lets
any
it fall
impression
to the
in this
ground.
snow. Here he moves
If
his
snow
left
is
foot,
everywhere
and
all
there is
around
no
him,
impression footprint
why did he have to
or
walk way
displaced
over there
snow.
to get some?
Another thing apparent while
Anytime
watching
close-up
the
footage of their
was the
feet was
complete
shown,
lack of wind
their
or any
footprints always
precipitation
failed to make
whatsoever
any
throughout the
impression
live
in the
stream
snow.
of footage. I don't recall a single
Here,
instance
he moves
of
his
any
left
wind
foot, and there is
or even
no
a light
impression,
breeze strong
footprint,
enough to
or
affect their hair
displaced
or
snow.
microphones, even on a calm
Another
sunny
thing
day.
apparent
If
while
they were
watching
really
the footage
outside
was the
and not in a
complete lack
studio,
of wind or any
you should see or hear
precipitation
the
whatsoever.
effect of wind on their bodies or microphones.
Throughout the live stream footage, I don't recall a single instance of any wind or even a light breeze strong enough to affect their hair or
the
microphones.
mountains in the distance seemed
Even
so
on a calm,
close
sunny
that you could
day,
touch them,
if they were really
but that they were
outside
actually
and not
several
in a
miles
studio,
away.
we should see
The
or hear
mountains
the
do
effect of
seem
wind on their
strangely
bodies or
closer
microphones. But it
than
was
they should
mysteriously
appear.
absent the entire time.
And if you pay attention to where
Jaron,
the
Whitsitt,
background
and others
foreground
involved
made
also
in
made
footage from their
comments
final
several
experiment,
times
particularly
about how the
24-hour
mountains in the
sun
distance
time lapse,
seemed so close that you
it
could
seems
touch
we are
them,
seeing
but that
where
they
the
were
digital
actually
backdrop
several
ends
miles away.
and the studio floor
The
begins.
mountains do seem strangely closer
There is a
than they should
separation
appear.
line indicative
And if you
of
pay
a film
attention
set
to where the
apparent in much
background
of the
and
footage
foreground
and
meet
made
in
clear
footage
through
from the
use
final
of
experiment,
video editing technology
particularly
by
the
adjusting
24-hour sun
contrast,
time-lapse,
it becomes
it seems
clear
we are seeing
where
where the
reality
digital
meets
backdrop
digital
ends
fakery.
and the studio floor
In the 24-hour
begins.
time-lapse sun footage,
There is a
the
separation
mountains
line
and
indicative
sky
of a
are
film
both
set apparent
chroma
in
keyed
much
out,
of the footage
showing they are
and
both
made
part of
clear
the studio
through the use
backdrop.
of video editing
Compare
technology.
this to other footage taken
By
at Union
adjusting the
Glacier when chroma
contrast,
key is
it becomes
applied.
clear
Only the
where
sky
studio
disappears,
reality
leaving
meets
the real
digital
mountains
fakery.
untouched.
In the 24-hour
This makes
time-lapse
the
sun
case
footage,
that the final
the mountains and
experiment
sky
is
are both
potentially a
chroma
mixture
keyed
of
out,
Dr. Studio footage
showing
to
they are
fake
both
the
part of
24-hour
the
sun
studio backdrop.
and other authentic footage
Compare
actually
this
taken from
to other
Union
footage
Glacier,
taken at
Antarctica.
Union Glacier. When
The
chroma key
founder
is
of this final
applied,
experiment,
only the
Pastor
sky
Will
disappears,
Duffy,
leaving the real
has also had a
mountains
recent
untouched.
surface from a sermon of
This
his
makes
that
the
gives some
case
real
that
insight
the
into
final
the mind of the
experiment
man
is
behind
potentially a
this
mixture
production.
of doctored
Okay.
studio footage to fake the 24-hour
We finally
sun
get
and
to
other
my
authentic
conclusion
footage
on the
actually
matter
taken from Union
of
Glacier,
lying and
Antarctica.
deception, and that
The
is
founder
this.
of this final experiment,
After carefully
Pastor
looking
Will
at both
Duffy,
sides of the
has
debate,
also had a
and after
recent
taking
clip
a
surface
very
from
deep
a sermon
dive
of his
into
that
everything
gives
I
some
could
real
possibly
insight
find
into the
in
mind of the
Scripture
man
regarding lying
behind
and
this
deception,
production.
I have come to the conclusion that neither lying nor deception are inherently immoral. On the matter of lying and deception,